Hey, what do you say? It's me and Mike here on a Sunday evening in November. This is Talkin Trash. My name's Tim, and I'm an addict. To my left here is my friend Michael Oxley. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Both wearing green today. It is November now. Halloween's over with. The clocks went back. I don't understand why we do that anymore. It's just it's a different
So
time of
it's more
year.
daylight during the working hours for the people that work outside,
I understand why they
that
do it.
work in the fields and stuff.
It was horrible. When I worked UPS, man, sun would go down at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I can't find a package. It's awful.
You
Um,
leave in the dark, come home
mhm.
in the dark.
Yep.
hmm
Yep.
I remember.
Yeah. So it is. It's this time of year. It's sports. A lot going on. Things. Everybody's like up in arms. Everybody's like in their feels in November. It's like for me, all right, I'll speak personally. For me, it's a time of year where I get lost. I have in the past. I feel like we said before, maybe it's seasonal affectiveness disorder, whatever it is. Um, you know, I, I know I struggle with it. I know that a lot of other people struggle with it too. So I encourage you to just hang in there. If that's all you can do is hold on, that's fine. You can make bad mistakes as long as you're not picking up. It'll get better. So, so we're here on a Sunday. It's November 3rd. Watching a lot of sports lately. A lot of time of year, hockey's on, basketball's on. A lot of stuff going on. I was watching the Georgia game yesterday. They're fighting in the stands, and like people are just out of their minds. People are nuts. And especially when it comes to sports. Travis Kelsey, the guy comes up behind him and calls him a
No,
gender
that's Jason.
slur.
That's his
Or
brother.
Jay.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was Jace. He was talking about Travis. And yeah, people are assholes. People are just they're miserable. And we represent a community who we need each other. We need each other to stay sober. Um, me personally, I'm nothing. I'm the test subject of this show. You know what I mean? I'm not fixed. I'm not better. I'm hanging on by a thread, just like everybody else. But that's what makes this show work. Is the fact that I am hanging on, and it's hard. It's hard for me. I'm not whining. I'm just telling you what it feels like to be an addict in recovery, away from your kids in a different state, all confused, not knowing, you know, did I burn my life to the ground permanently? Do I recover from this? I don't know. Those are my questions. But I do this show for people who are struggling in that same boat, and there's a lot of you. And we're just grateful to have the opportunity to hang out with you and shoot the shit and figure things out together. Because giving back is the only way to keep what you have, and that's a fact. And they say it in AA. It sounds cliche, and I never understood it till I did it. And it keeps me humble, keeps me in my lane. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm no worse than anybody else. We're all the same. The 12 steps are just a common sense guide to life. And if you're fortunate enough to figure it out that way, consider yourself lucky, because a lot of people before you have failed, haven't done it the right way. It's about community. It's about giving back. It's about service work. Faith without works is dead. Whatever. You got to help the other person, because I know people have helped me, and I'm obligated to give back. And that's what me and Mike do here on the podcast. And since we're getting all technical, let's get into a preamble and we'll get the show going. This is our humble broadcast, where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the message that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show as living examples that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. Not only is that the 9-step promise, it's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us for a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, let's go around and meet the team real quick before we get started. First on deck, we got Mike Oxley. Mike is a longtime addiction recovery nurse. He's seen the recovery landscape change over the years. And you got Tim Snyder. I don't know, there's definitely something wrong with this guy. But he's been through it all, and through his experience, he offers solid guidance to those in recovery and those touched by the disease. Alright, boys and girls, let's go around the horn and check in with everybody. Let's do that. Hey, Mike, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
How was your
Hi,
week
Rob
so far?
Brescia. Hi, Rob Brescia. Thanks for watching. My week has been kind of depressing. I don't like it when the seasons change. How about you?
Been a good week. The kids were up for a few days. First time I got the eyes on the one that's Prego. Man, she's
Mm,
big. It's all baby
I
though.
bet.
I had a good few days with them and getting ready for the nitty gritty here. We got a shower coming up. We got a birth coming up. We got sports almost every night on television coming
Everywhere.
up. I love it. World Series just ended. Football 3 days a week. Um, hockey. I really don't watch much hockey. I always say I'm going to,
You
but I
never
don't know
do.
about you guys. But like when they had that thing where the puck was blue
Oh
and
my
it,
God.
it would zip around, I like that. Once they got rid of that, it was hard for me to follow what's going on. These guys are hitting
So,
this thing. It goes what, like 120 miles an hour?
so I'll agree with you. In the late '90s and the 2000s, it was tough to watch hockey on TV. They tried that laser puck thing on
I
Fox.
liked it.
It was a
It was really
well,
for the ladies, but
well,
it was
it's
for
really the resolution was so small back then on these TVs. So now it's in HD, and everybody's like, "Nope, I already tried it. I can't follow it without the laser thing." But really, if you if you give it a good
that's
shot,
me.
they do a lot better with the broadcast these days. Yeah, so you're right. There's sports everywhere, and like sports was my life. That's all I did. All I did was watch and play, and I played hockey. I we're going to talk a little bit tonight about addiction and sports. We say it doesn't the disease does not discriminate. Certainly doesn't. We talked about DMX a couple episodes ago. We're talking about you know we're going to talk about Pelly Lindbergh tonight. David Gove, the Goudreau brothers, and then Chris Herron is going to be our main topic. If anybody's been to a rehab long enough, you're going to see the Chris Herron video because he's like the go-to. He's on OxyContin, heroin, playing for the Celtics, all this crazy stuff. He's got a great story, and he's a success story where he should have died with all rights. And there's a hockey player. This guy's from my era, Dave Gove. He wasn't a success story. It took him out, and and then the Gaudreaus. We're gonna look at them real quick. They didn't ask for it. They got run over by a drunk driver. So like addiction hits everybody. So we're just gonna kind of check things out, see what's going on, shake it up a little bit here.
What I notice is people's attitudes towards sports and drugs and addiction kind of follows whatever's going on in society's attitude towards it at the time. It
hmm
kind of mirrors. They used to get away with it. Used to say, "Oh, that's because they're rich and get away with it," and some of that may have been true years ago. But I think once it was more widely accepted as a disease, because it is, um,
Right.
you start looking at things. Look, how could this guy have everything? How could he make $10 million a year, have a beautiful wife, have a beautiful car? How could he be snorting this fentanyl in the bathroom? Because it's a
Yep.
disease. So I think it's broken down some things with sports and made us all on a level playing field a little bit. No
Well,
pun
the
intended.
Joanne Zacconi Citrone says, "Hey, Mike, keep motivating. You have a fan."
Hey Joe.
It says we got 44 on my thing. It says we got one, but I'm looking at three on my. I don't care. We're just gonna do the show. Just trying to figure out the live stream thing, so everybody knows we record this show twice a week, um, and we go front to back. You know, if it's riddled with curses, I'll edit it. But for the most part, we do a live show recorded. So we figured, what the hell, we'll just record it live and let you watch us fumble all over each other. So that's this is not our product. Our product is Spotify and our podcast listeners that'll listen on their commute tomorrow. But we're just trying something out, so we're going to spread the word, see if we can get some live viewers in here. We can take questions. We can you know um, see
So
who's
Sunday nights,
watching.
basically, Tim had thought, and I agree that we should get some interaction,
Hmm.
maybe through the comment section,
Yep.
live interaction. I don't know what somebody could ask me that would throw me off, but try me, right,
Well,
Jillian? I've heard it all. I've seen it all, Jillian.
Kelly Rose, she's a first time viewer. She's happy to be here. She is 2 years sober. Kelly Rose, that a girl. Proud of you. We love it. We love That's for you, Kelly. We blow the horn. Um,
All right.
let's talk about LA was fun. But how when you win a championship, why do you burn your city down? I was at the Eagles thing down in downtown with the Crisco cops and all that, but nobody was
I
burning
don't know.
anything to the
There's no
ground.
fire. We don't burn stuff down. I mean,
Let's take a look at what they
we have
did
to
in
grease
LA.
the.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Classic. Oh my God. Way to go, Los Angeles. Very
That one
interesting.
snippet was two New York Yankees fans. I don't know if anybody
Yeah,
saw it, but
yeah,
they had this plan that if anybody ever jumped into the wall and above where they're sitting, and they had great seats, season ticket holders, with a home run ball or a foul ball, they were going to take the ball out of the garage and take one for their team, the Yankees, and they
yeah.
actually did. One
That's
held his arm and held Mookie Betts
I
up in the air,
saw
and
that.
the other one stole the ball and glove right off of his hand. Typical New York
Ridiculous.
action. Now that's
There was a
great. I mean,
That is Gratz New York right
that's
there. What
fantastic.
There was a big one years ago. I think it was the Yankees too, where the dude caught the ball and it Red Sox maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
was Boston. No, he was a Boston guy. Yes, it was a
Mm-hmm.
Boston guy, and he was like had to go into protective custody. He
Yeah.
interfered with it, and it was ruled not a
Yes, he
home
did.
run. And it was a
Some
big deal.
crazy shit.
It's in the
Um,
'90s. Yep.
yeah. So I just put together a little highlight video of. Yeah, I put some stuff in there that obviously isn't LA, driving cars into pools and whatnot, but yeah, just to give you the
Blowing the
idea of that
fingers off.
crazy.
What the hell?
That's my favorite part. The dude blows his fingers off, right? So he's got no fingers, and he's in shock. Obviously, he's probably wasted on something too. But yeah, nothing like celebrating your team's championship and blowing your hand off. So
And
that's
burning
that.
your city down. I
Yep,
just will never understand that.
it's crazy. So we'll stick with the topic. Today is Pelly Lindbergh's birthday. So if you don't know who Pelly Lindbergh is, you're not alone. A lot of people don't. But I'll share some interesting facts with our listeners here. Pelly Lindbergh died in 1985 on November 10th, driving his Porsche into a wall in where's the car? There's the car.
This was
He
in
hit an
Lebanon.
embankment. Yeah, he was leaving a team function. He hit an embankment. He died. Two other people were seriously injured. I didn't think that car fit more than two people. Huh. Um, so yeah, it was very sad to see Pelly Lindbergh go, and that was my time of year, my time in my life. I was young, but like I remember it, and yeah, he was an all-star goaltender. He was going to be a phenom for the Flyers, and he just got out of playing. He for the men's 1980 Olympics team, believe it or not, for Sweden.
Right.
When the men won the 1980 Olympics, when they beat Russia, they didn't. That wasn't the gold medal game. That was to get to the gold medal game. They got to the gold medal game and played Finland, and they tied, but they won. the gold that way. But Pelle Lindbergh was the goaltender for Finland, or Sweden. Do I have it wrong? I don't know. He's Swedish. He had a whole life in front of him, and he played with the Flyers for 1 year. Took the Flyers to the Stanley Cup against the Oilers in '85, and yeah, it's a terrible death. He was drinking. He was at a team function in Voorhees, New Jersey, and yeah, he ate a embankment, and that was it. So, he was when he died, he led the NHL with 40 victories. He won the Vezina Trophy. He became the number one European goaltender in the world at that time. Um, but in the early morning hours of November 10th, 1985, Lindbergh lost control of his customized Porsche 930 Turbo and struck a wall in front of Summerdale, New Jersey Elementary School. Mike, you know where that is, right?
Yep. In fact,
Yep.
for years, I mean, for years afterwards, that white painted wall, like a whitewashed wall, that kind of encumbered the whole intersection, went
Yep.
around, still had the scratch marks and some red paint alongside of it for like
Mm-hmm.
10 years. You could
Long
always ride
time.
by, you would always think about it. Dude, that
Yep.
red paint, I don't think it was purposely left there, but I can remember me and my buddy Scott riding past there and be like, "Oh, geez, they never painted that thing."
Brutal. Yeah, absolutely brutal. So like it's typical Flyers though. I'm not gonna get sportsy here, but like Flyers sucked they have sucked for 40 years. And what
Ever
needed
since.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it at the time, but like when I really started watching hockey in the 90s, it was Ron Hextall, not Pelle Lindbergh. And Ron Hextall he was fun to
Right.
watch, but he didn't stop many pucks. So yeah, it's just typical Flyers. Their
But Ron
goalie
Hexel
dies.
fight. That's what we like.
Oh, I love Ron Hextall. Speaking of which, let's take a real quick look. Pelle Lindbergh makes a save on Wayne Gretzky, and then Pelle Lindbergh gets into a fight. Let's see that real quick.
We're going to have a breakaway by Gretzky down the left side. He's going to go in all alone. Shoots! And he's beat by Pelle Lindbergh.
What does that do for goaltender's confidence?
Let me tell you something. The whole crowd here came to see this young man in action, number 99, and to see what he can do with a puck, and he's a magician. But this time, Pelle Lindbergh paid him perfectly, stayed up to the last minute, and just moved across very, very quickly to take away that top part of the net. Gretzky could not get it by him.
So that's our little tribute to Pelle Lindbergh, and then he's double teaming the Rangers goaltender. That's our compared to share the old Pelle Lindbergh saga. So yeah, so that's crazy. It's how it happens. People. It doesn't take much. I don't know the details of the accident, but he was doing like 110 miles an hour on like a 40-mile-an-hour road. So
Yeah, and it splits right there in
yeah,
Summerdale,
it's
and
the split. Yep.
I know where it
So
is. I was about 16, so I remember it well.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's it. That's Pelle Lindbergh. Of course, yeah, I don't remember anything in my era. Like I don't remember anybody dying from an accident. Do you? Like any other sports? Oh, yeah, I remember one. Yeah, an Atlanta Thrasher died in a car accident. But yeah, it doesn't discriminate, and sadly for Lindbergh, he passed away, and he was at the peak of his career. The Flyers effing needed him. Um, you know, after his death, Lindbergh topped the fan voting for the All Star game. Since 1994, the Flyers gave Pelle Lindbergh a trophy, most improved player on the team in
It's 40
1990.
years later, and
Yep.
I don't think the organization ever recovered.
They haven't,
Honestly,
and I talked to some friends that are Flyers fans. They need to put his number in the rafters. Nobody's ever worn it since. There's been no 31s, but like put his number in the rafters and let's get a goalie that can stop a puck or two, and let's move on. So yeah, so that's Pelle Lindbergh. We're not going to go nuts about that. We are going to talk about same thing. The Gaudreau brothers. They were mowed down a couple of months ago by an intoxicated driver, and it doesn't discriminate. Don't drink and drive, people. For the love of God, don't drink and drive. I've done it. It's not fun. And as always, if you find yourself in a situation that is life threatening or a crisis, call 988. So I think what we're gonna do, Mike, real quick, we're gonna watch this Chris Heron video. Watch all our
It'll blow your mind away.
all 20 of our viewers are gonna bail. But yeah, this is a visual group tonight. We're gonna take a look at this, then we're gonna talk about it. So you have 4 minutes to go get a drink, and here we go. Well, we can talk through this.
Truth
Mike.
is, I should be dead. So why are you alive today?
Well, by the grace of God, I believe, and 12 steps in my recovery program, and if it wasn't for people extending their hand and offering me treatment and staying in treatment, I probably wouldn't be here today.
You were a superstar in high school, Fall River, Massachusetts. You go on to be recruited by powerhouse teams. You're a Massachusetts guy, so you go to Boston College. You walk into a dorm room, 18 years of age, see a roommate, girls chopping up lines of cocaine. What happened next?
I was ready to walk out, and at the last second, I turned around and changed my mind. And it was a vulnerable moment that I think a lot of kids face, and I just wasn't ready to stand up and say no. And I jumped into it thinking, I'll do this once. I'll never do it again. And, obviously, by the intro of the film, it was 14 years later when I was able to walk away.
You ultimately transfer to Fresno State. You go on to play for the Nuggets, the Celtics, which I imagine was your dream, being from Massachusetts. But your addiction got so bad that you stood in the rain in your Celtics uniform outside Boston Garden waiting for a dealer. What do you remember about that moment?
It was just another normal day for a life of an addict. You say that to someone who struggled with addiction, they would say,
Yep.
Perfectly normal. You say that to someone who hasn't, they'd say you're absolutely out of your mind.
Yeah.
I couldn't play without that in my system.
How did you pull it off for so long?
Addiction, alcoholism, it's cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it leads you to do many, many things. You lie, you cheat, you steal, in order to keep maintaining one day at a time in that lifestyle. I really wasn't. People say rock bottom. Every day is a rock bottom in that world. And, it's once I ran out of money, money was a crutch for me. Once I ran out of money, then I realized how tough of a world drug addiction was because I was on the streets.
Talk about the one day your wife, gives birth to your son. You were in rehab. You come out and you relapse the very day you have your first.
Yeah.
Your child.
Yeah, it was my third child.
This is your third child,
I did
forgive me.
relapse. Yep, no, it's okay. I came home against the advice of counselors, and I thought I could handle it. And 30 days sober, I was not emotionally equipped to come home, deal with that moment, and stay sober. I relapsed. I was given the gift of treatment, and treatment works. And unfortunately, nowadays, in this society that we live in, drug addicts and alcoholics are given maybe 10 days to fix an illness, and that's not enough. I had the blessing to stay in treatment for 6 to 9 months.
How do you inspire others to come out of their own?
Right, Mike?
Just one day at a time. You need to forgive yourself. You need to move forward. You need to let go of the past. You cannot continuously beat yourself up.
So there you have it. Chris Heron. He's I've seen many different versions of his story, but like his disease took him to play basketball in like Lithuania. He couldn't find pills out there. He started doing heroin out there. He'll tell you these war stories, which they have a place in time. If they have a effect that's positive on somebody or lasting, I don't mind a war story here and there. Just don't glorify it. But he's got some stuff that I mean, we're not going to talk about it because I don't have the video, but it sticks with me. I think about him in China trying to buy heroin from some Yakuza guy. Like, his story's nuts. And he got, Mike, you heard what he said, right? He got 6 to 9 months in treatment. And we always say that, like, to really recover
Not a lot of
from
people
this,
can do that. Unfortunately,
exactly.
I've never heard of anybody in treatment that long that hasn't been a success story. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's been people that have relapsed, but
Yeah.
generally to relearn a behavior, which is addiction, and Something else I was thinking about. To be a professional athlete of his caliber at the time, let's just say, you got to be a little bit of an addictive personality to begin with to be
Mhm.
successful in any
Sure.
game. Which means, let's make it simple. You shoot 1,000 baskets a day, easy, 1,000 times a day. You're shooting
Yep.
500 times. You're at the 3-point line shooting. There is an addiction to performance, an addiction to being good, to being the greatest, so you can make it in professional realms and things like that. So you're already kind of addictive to a sport.
Sure.
It's not a big stretch for me to believe that more it doesn't come out. I think it will now, but more professional athletes or trying to be professional athletes aren't held back by addiction. And I think they were for a lot of years. And
Sure.
Josh Hamilton comes to mind. He was a baseball player that was doing everything and just kind of went by the wayside in the late '90s, and then he came back for the last few years of his career.
Yep.
That was always that you can come back from it, and this was right after or during the times that there was performing enhancing with Sammy Sosa
Yep.
and
Yeah.
Barry
Mark McGuire.
Bonds and all them guys, and this guy was just from drugs, but he came back and put a nice bow on his career at the end, and I think he still speaks and talks about it to this day. It cost him. He estimated it cost him $100 million and 8 years,
Yeah.
of playing. That's what
Right.
he has, if you got a protagonist. But it's, I think sports people and those athletes are more susceptible to addiction of the disease. Not that it's not a disease, but because of that repetition and that drive. They're addicted to basketball. They're addicted to hockey, addicted to the success. It's not that much of a stretch that they could actually turn into a drug addict for
Yeah.
performance.
Right. No, it's right in their purview, really. I mean, to be an athlete, you have to be um, aggressive about your career and your craft. And I think about like how Chris Herron would describe how he would go through the motions to get his drug, to do the game, to dip. We're control freaks, right? Like addicts are control freaks, and everything has to be a pattern. We have to follow the same thing. Even going and getting the drug or getting high, it's like it's one of those things where like with Chris Herron on his level is out of control. He's a athlete. He's at the Boston Garden buying OxyContin from his dealer 5 minutes before tip
Yeah,
off,
why not send one of your publicist people, one of your
he
valet
he
guys, one
was
of your
he thought he was
security guys?
he thought he was hiding it. He thought that he had everybody snowed and that nobody knew, so we couldn't tell anybody. Nobody was in that circle. This is his private thing. Everybody looks at it was like there's something wrong with you, but you put up 46 points last game, so do what you're gonna do. So like, yeah,
And they
people
would look
can
the other way, and
look the other
nobody would
way.
challenge a great
Nope,
guy or a star player.
exactly.
Nobody's going to challenge you. But like where I'm a little older than you, where I had like the Doc Goodens, man, you knew he was all coked up while he was throwing
Yeah,
95-mile-an-hour fastballs.
I
Nobody
know.
really said anything. So we knew it. There was a part of the '80s that it was just not talked about and
Right.
brushed away, and the media wasn't like it was right now, where everything hit Twitter within 30 seconds. I mean, perfect example: Jason Kelsey took that kid's phone and smashed it. I think it was on Twitter,
Everywhere.
TikTok, Facebook
Everywhere.
within 20 seconds afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So I'm
the
watching.
media can live and die right there.
I watch. I'm fascinated with plane crashes. I don't know why. Um, Now they're starting to catch them live. People doing Facebook Live, like, "Oh, I'm in a plane, and oh shit, my plane's going down," and then they die, and then it's recorded. It's instantaneous on Facebook Live. Like right now, if we were in a plane and
Right.
it crashed, people would see it happen because it's not. I'm from the days of recorded video. You take a video, it's on your phone. It's like impossible to get it off your phone. It's a million megabytes. Like nowadays, it's just like electricity flows through the air basically. So like yeah, it's pretty crazy. You can't hide anything, not with social media. So so that's anyway. Yeah, I was Travis Kelsey. Where was he at? Penn State? Is that what it looked like? It was Penn State.
Who's that?
Kelsey, was he at in?
Yes, he was at Penn State. He was at Happy Valley. The guy was
Okay,
just taunting him, called his brother
An F.
derogatory term, and he stuck up for his brother and Taylor, and that's all nice, but Jason's going to have to learn that if you're going to be everywhere on every television commercial, on every show, every day, can't do that, dude. You can't let them get to you like that. You can't. First of all, you work for Disney,
Yeah.
and we all know how wacky Disney is, and
Yep.
if you're working for ESPN, you're working for Disney, and there you are on every media we have, smashing some kid's
Yeah.
phone who's probably 24 and a little snot nose, but
Obviously,
you
yeah.
you can't do that.
No,
Although he
and
might get away with it this time,
he'll get away with it this time. Right.
he has to get some thicker skin with and I'm sure there's people that are going to be in that booth with him tomorrow night at ESPN and talking to him and saying, "Listen, you can't." They can
But
say something about your mother. You just got to
he's
keep
gonna get a
walking.
he's gonna get a talking to. But like like the people thought like it felt like half the people thought it was the kid deserved it, and the other half thought that was an asshole thing to do. Um, so yeah, he won't get away with that again. That's for sure.
No, and
You,
like I
you can't
said,
do
by
it.
being Disney owned company, he can't put his. I'm sure his brother will tell him, and Taylor would tell him, "Don't do that. Just
Yeah.
please, just
Yep.
don't.
Or just
Please
don't
don't
put yourself
don't
in that
stand up for me."
situation. Don't walk down the street with a bunch of Penn State drunk kids.
With a
Don't
12
do
pack,
that.
yeah, you can't
Yeah,
be an
it was
everyman
12 pack.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Relax. So like, so yeah, I was it was everywhere instantly. Yeah, he keeps that up, he's gonna have problems. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he
I
had
don't
made it off of that path, and it wasn't everywhere. So
no,
yeah, he's going to stop being so accessible that close. You'll see
but
that
I
fast. It's
it's
not gonna
funny
happen.
the F word. I'm not talking fuck. I'm talking about the derogatory term for
Well,
homosexuals.
there is a cigarette, and in England it's called a fag. You know.
Okay, you get away with it there. But yeah, that it's funny that word in the '90s when I was growing up. That's what we called each other as a joke. Nobody got
Oh yeah,
offended.
it's
It
not
was a
right.
slang. It was just hey, it was fun to say. Honestly, it's an easy word to say. Nowadays, I hear it and it's like the N word. You know what I mean? It's got such a stigma
Oh
to it.
yeah, yeah. You
It's
can't say that
but like
anymore.
I never threw the N word all over the place in the '90s with my friends, but we certainly called each other
Well, once
fags.
hip hop came about, it got to be culturally applied to some of them, and there was some
Right, but I
confusion
don't.
who
You
can
know.
say it and who can't say it.
Yeah.
Just don't say it. You
Well,
know.
that happened with the F word. That got taken away as years went by.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Some people were saying
Uh,
Jason was saying it. That guy said it to him one time.
yeah,
I saw it starting already. Well, Jason said it 3 times to the guy after
yeah,
he broke his phone. So I see
yep,
somebody keeping score. I don't care what he does. I think he's great for Philly. I think he's great for football. I think he's great for the average sports guy. But he's about to get a lesson in wokeness. I think
yeah.
today, tomorrow.
He, yeah, he's gonna get a. Just because it's said to you, you can't repeat it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you can't
You
be.
can't react. That's
Yeah,
his whole thing, trying to get you to react.
yep. So many things
And
going on.
which brings us back to what we were talking about last week, by the way, as you're in recovery and sober and trying to do the recovery. And people are going to push your buttons in your family sometimes just to
Yeah,
see how you're going to react, just to
yep.
push you, just because they can. And they will.
Just
And
because you
you
have a
got to get
target
some
on your
thick
back.
skin. Right. And
Yeah,
you got to
yep,
get some
you have a
thicker skin.
target on your back. People can get away with more stuff saying to somebody that doesn't have a right to say it back or whatever the stigma. But yeah, I mean, in recovery, you got to be prepared to have some thicker skin. And usually, like you get to a point in recovery where your head's on straight, you have that thicker skin. You're more reactive when you're high and like being impulsive and whatever. So yeah, just real quick, there's some other stuff going on that I saw. That Florida Georgia game, did you see that, Mike? Where everybody's beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm laughing, but I
Awesome.
should be.
That was
That was
awesome.
great.
I watched Cardi B at the Kamala Harris thing. That was the most
How'd
uncomfortable thing
she
I've
do?
ever seen. It was. This is not political. I'm just talking about Cardi B. She
I
was.
thought she was more with Trump than she was with Kamala.
I don't know. I don't know the affiliations. I just know that she was Oh wait, I'm thinking of two different things. There was somebody had to give a speech at a Harris rally, and she didn't have the. It was Cardi B. Anyway, I don't know. There was a. I'm off the rails here. One was a performance, and one was a speech, and they were both utterly embarrassing. So yeah, I saw that. How about the squirrel? What are they doing with this squirrel? They killed the guy's squirrel.
Yeah, man, that's not cool. The squirrel freaking got pissed and bit somebody that was trying to take it to the shelter or something, and then they made a whole big deal about the squirrel bite and wanted to test it for rabies, but euthanized it to test it for rabies. The squirrel was like a
Hmm,
millionaire. What do you mean he had rabies? He was, living a posh life in this
that's
guy's
crazy.
place.
Well, I mean,
Sheesh.
I didn't like it. I did not like it one bit. But I hate jumping on the bandwagon of things. They're all big, like Trump's talking about it, and it's, all right, whatever. Just 15 minutes of fame, I guess. All right, what else do we want to talk about? All right, so let's do clean time real quick. Yeah,
Clean time? Yeah, we
yeah.
can do it.
Wash your hands.
Joseph Jeremy Moore, 33 days. There you go, buddy.
Attaboy.
Red tag now. 37 days. Bridget Shees, good job. Red tag you.
Good job.
And there's Jason D, 40 days. Look at that. I feel like he was just
Yeah.
on the other side.
He was.
Good for him, Joe.
Look at Key
TW,
going.
47 days and nights. Way to go, Key.
Haley,
Oh,
60.
Haley McDermott, 60. Look at you. Look at the function. And Skylar, 62 days. She's over that 60 hump. It doesn't get easier, but it does sometimes. 87 days. John Brown. 89 days. Valencia K. With the
There you go.
fancy necklace.
Mm-hmm. My girl.
And Katarina D. Look at her, 94 days. Way to go, Katarina. April R, 96 days. Monty Fani. Monty Fani now 100 days. You made it
Whoa.
triple digits. And look at this. Michaela Booker, our favorite, 102 days. That is no joke, Michaela.
Girl.
Right, Kenny, even though you got this creepy mirror frame from the 80s, 104 days. 108 for Rick O'Daniel. It's no joke. That's real time. 108 days.
They're doing it.
113 days. Alex, Katrine. I mean, this is like real time. 119 days. Samantha Hess.
Our little girl, all grown up.
With bail reform, this is longer than people have to serve in jail these days. 120 days for Anthony. 124 days for Destiny J. It's her Destiny. 127 for Daniel G. He does need a beard trim.
Getting there.
I'm going to buy him one. AJ Hamilton, 139 days.
Andreas,
And we got Andreas Estrada, 149 days.
stop ducking me.
And there's our original friend, David D, 151.
Christian.
154 days for Christian A. And his woman, Tara Dixon, 155 days.
No, I don't think so.
No, 157 days. Alex M, good job, buddy.
Nikki
Nikki
Starnes.
Starnes. She was one of our originals, 157
Yeah,
days.
she was. That girl. Crikey.
160 days for CW. Oh,
Boy.
Tony J.
Look at Tony J. 6 months.
Look at that, 186 days. Wow.
Him and Maria.
187.
6 months.
Maria Gladden. I'm so glad that she has 6 months sober. 196 days. Jen Mag.
And a birthday.
200 for Jared Black.
Yeah, we'll give him the horn.
230 for Kissy Face Mandy G.
Come, Mandy Jean.
And Jamie Michelle. 231 days.
That girl.
Rock steady, baby. 264 days to Sean Booker. That's no joke.
Boy D.
280, Ricky McVicker. Look at him, he's got
9
yellow.
months. 9 months. Yeah.
He could have got a girl pregnant on his last night drinking. 306 days. Casey Spencer.
Katie M.
7 days. Katie M, our little French princess. 337 days for Patty.
And Patty.
339 days for Craig Clipper. He looks like a businessman.
Ronnie, welcome
Ronnie
to the
J.
Year Club.
374 days, 1 year. Way to go, Ronnie. 397 days, Will Douglas. 469. This strange looking cat. Tim
Oh.
Schneider.
Daniel Gelman,
2
he'll be on our
years
show on Wednesday. He'll be our
Who's
guest. on
Danny
Wednesday.
Gelman?
Yep.
Danny Gelman. 2 years for Amelia Quattro.
She's an OG.
Hey, Stella Montez, 2 years. She don't take no stuff. I think she'll stick you. 3 years. April Pritchard. I see a little diamond in her lips. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
3 years now. 4 years. Jeffrey, yes. Good sport, long time listener. He's a good guy.
Kaisa.
Kaisa.
Jesus Christ.
Kaisa B, 4 years. Tyler, 4 years. We saw his show, 6 years. Lisa Welke, way to go, Lisa.
Girl.
Simon Cross, 6 years. Way to go, buddy. He was on our show. And we know our personal friend, Tina C, and often a guest host. 8 years. 12 years from Matt Gillespie.
Check out our support group page.
I think I got it. I did your support group. I think I got an email from him. I got to look at 13 years. You okay? Way to go, buddy.
Hey, Mike, who's the most important person in this whole thing?
Michael
Brown is. And let me explain.
Michael Brown, one day.
He sent me a message today
Mike.
saying that he's
I'll get
starting
back to Mike
today.
and look at Tim. Timothy F, 24 days. You know, I feel extra special for letting us take the ride with you as you begin this journey. All right? No pressure, but thanks for including us. And we hope we can be here for you guys.
Hit us up. Check
Hit
out
us
our
up. You're having a tough day, a tough night. Mike at trash-podcast.com. Tim at trash-podcast.com. 988, don't kill yourself, for Christ's sake. And Talkin, get plenty of it. You never know.
Yeah, sure. It could
Everything
save
has
a life.
Narcan in it these days.
It does. I had a banana with Narcan in it earlier. I just want to acknowledge our friend here, our newcomer. My friend sent me a message this morning. He said, I am committed to getting clean. Your show has inspired me to do so, blah, 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 whatever. But it's the first time I had somebody say, I'm getting clean today. Can you start keeping track of my days? This is a first. It's a first for us. It's an honor, Michael.
That's all you, Tim, because this was your baby. You thought of this segment, and you know what? It's helping people, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike. This is I think it's the first time we're doing like a real time track of a friend. He sent me a message at
no pressure, Mikey.
5 o'clock in the morning. He said, I like your show. Put me on that clean time thing because I'm not having a drink today. And I said, I'm here for you. I said, you're on it. I'll keep in touch. That kind of guy I'll keep in touch with. I'll email him tonight. I'll email him tomorrow.
That's like a cold turkey. That's a guy that said, I'm done. He woke up, and that's half the battle. I'm done. So he waited for the clocks to go back, maybe? I don't know. If the clocks went back, and he said, that's it.
He sent me an email in the middle of the night, and I was like, I thought to myself, like this is the first, like all the other clean timers, we're friends with them, we talk to them, we keep track of them. But this is the first time somebody wants me to do it live with them. And I got a lot going on with the show, but I'll stop everything I'm doing. I'll cancel a show if somebody needs help. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter.
Right.
But
Michael Brown.
This guy,
we have. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So this guy, he used our show to make a commitment to stay sober. Some people have to crash a car and overdose in Kensington to hit their rock bottom and say, I need help. Michael Brown, he looks like a businessman. He looks like he's got his shit together. Other than
got up 24 hours ago, I'm done.
So he's decided that he's going to do it with us.
Maybe he could come on, and as he gets to different levels, he could talk to us about it and what he's going through and what made him decide that day at that time to text or email Tim and say, you know what, I'm getting on your ship, and let's go. That's awesome.
Listen, it was probably one of those things. I've been there up at 1 a.m., no drugs, no alcohol, don't know what to do with yourself. You stumble across something like, I don't know, Talkin Trash podcast, right? And then you watch 1, you watch 2, you watch 4. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up, and you're like, I want what those guys have on Clean Time. I want what they have. I'm not giving anything away. I'm providing a forum for people to say, I want to be clean and I want to live clean. And
between you and me, if he saw it one day next week, I'm fine with that too. Because
listen, I don't know if this is based on 1 email. I sent him 2. He sent me 1. It's just one of those things where like you know, it's evolved to this thing where somebody says they know I'm taping a show that night. They know I'm going to do a show. I'm going to start, and I'm going to use you guys as my vehicle to go into sobriety. So, Mike, it's a pleasure to have you. We're honored to have you. I'm not sure about having them on. I'm hesitant about having anybody on that's too early in recovery.
I was thinking like
It's
1 year.
Oh yeah, well, without a doubt. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Um, we do take guests. Daniel Gelman will be on Wednesday night for a little bit. Yeah, if you want to be on, you need. My soft rule is 9 months of clean time, just because you don't want to put somebody up there. It's like 40 days
Unless you want
clean
to work in recovery. I've seen people working in recovery
or
30 days
that.
into
Oh
as a
yeah, that's
patient.
me.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's me. So yeah, so that's thanks, Mike. We appreciate that. I'd like to see more of that. We have we have comments. Jim Libel says awesome job. I don't think I'm doing the streaming thing right because I have 100 viewers over here, 10 over here. None of it makes sense. So again, I don't care about the streaming. It's our we're recording the show anyway.
This is
So
what we do anyway. So
it
this
is
is
what
what
we
our
do.
show is. Anyway.
It's what we
Maybe there's
do.
a little editing if I curse too much. Like we're really on a couple different services right now. I know Facebook, most people are watching it on, but if I curse too much, obviously we have to clean that up. So I'm trying not to. No promises. Until we're done. The live part.
They think you're funny.
Roadhouse.
I had the laugh track going.
more cowbell.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
So,
But no, I just I just want to remind everybody as November comes around and the days are getting shorter, but there's a lot more family time coming up and a lot more closeness. I mean, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, there's New Year's, there's birthdays, there's baby showers, there's all kinds of family stuff and friend stuff and office parties. A lot.
we're gonna
Pollyannas at the
we're
office.
we're
Just
we're gonna be exactly. We're gonna be talking about
try
this
to
holiday thing
try to
till
be
February.
respectful.
Yeah.
Be respectful of somebody's cleanliness. Somebody's trying to do the right thing, like Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Just be respectful. If somebody's not drinking, don't pry. Don't ask them
Yep.
why.
Yep.
They'll tell you, or just back off. Give them
There's a
their
way to do,
space.
there's a way to do things unspoken. Body language. It's just holidays are the biggest thing for anybody in addiction or anybody entering addiction. It's usually the holidays. Something sparks. Too much work, too much festivities, too much family, too much this, too much. And like when I
Too much
burnt my
ball
life,
busting. Too much just
no
ball busting.
kidding. It's just you're not ready for that yet. Like Chris Heron said, and like we've said, 6, 8, 9 months of rehab. That's what people need, and they're not getting, and that's why the recidivism rate is so high. Is because they're not getting that further treatment. Eventually, people get to that point, and they'll find themselves in some kind of long term thing, if they're lucky. So yeah, so
Talk
it's that
about
time.
recidivism. Like, being a nurse, we would do 12-hour, 13-hour shifts, right? So you would work three. I would always do three in a row, get it over with, and then I would have like 4 days off. Not really, because the first one you're going to sleep day and night anyway. But
Yeah.
talk about recidivism. I would leave on that third day, come back 4 days later, and the person was back. I said, "Oh, did something happen with your discharge? It didn't go through?" No, they left and are back already. And that seemed to be more than ever around a family incident, around the holidays, around a family event.
Yep.
It happened a
Exactly.
lot.
So I think
3 days
Chris
later.
Heron said that too. Didn't he say that in his thing? That he didn't have the right insurance or whatever. Yeah, but it's it's hard if you
Yeah, he was on the street and
Yeah.
you know,
Hey, Will
he
Douglas,
the,
nice to see
the
you.
money didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
The money
Right. No,
obviously to Chris Herron didn't mean anything,
right. He
because he would just go through it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. So I want to talk one more sports guy, since we're all over sports today. This one hit home for me because we were about the same age, going through the same epidemic, the OxyContin, all that stuff. Um, he was an ex NHL player. Love you too, Donald. Dave Gove, right? So he died in 2017. Now this dude, we'll talk about trauma, right? Because we talked about that last episode, how trauma can ignite your addiction or start one.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, and this happens in sports. Dave Gove was a product of he was a product of let's see,
Molestation, wasn't it?
molestation. Yes, I was just trying to find the anyway. There was he died before he could testify against this guy, Robert Richardson, a coach that had put many NHLers into the league, but they'll tell you, you need to stick with us. You got to do what I say to get into the NHL. And this guy was a predator, right? So
Absolutely.
disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But it cost this guy his life. This beautiful young man, great hockey player, happy guy, friendly guy. It ate at him. He probably didn't sleep without seeing this jackass's face. So Dave Gove, he played for the Hurricanes. He played for the Penguins, and then the minor league team. And that's when he started getting out of control. Dave Gove, when he was in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Pennsylvania, for the Baby Pens. He was 38. He was the epitome of a clean living collegiate professional hockey captain. He was an adoring father, but only a few knew of his personal torment. According to his family and Suffolk County prosecutors, Gove never escaped the anguished memories of his treatment by this influential Boston hockey coach.
Self-medication to the extreme.
Yep. Gove died 2 months before he was scheduled to testify in court against Robert G. Richardson, who faces three counts of child rape. There's a special place in hell for people like this. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah. If
There
he's
will
not
be
there
no
already.
trial. Yeah, prosecutors have lost their victim as Dave Gove died. Da- Gove was a gifted player, right? And he received an offer to play in at University of Vermont, UVM, great hockey school.
Great
He
collegiate hockey team.
great, yeah. We're from Vermont, Mike. Did you know that my family's from Vermont, Burlington area, where UVM is? That's
No, I
another
didn't.
story from. Yep. Um,
I had a buddy
so
that went there in Burlington.
so it got to a point where Gove had borrowed more than $50,000 from friends. Um, he had defaulted on more than $50,000 in additional debt. Creditors were closing in. His house was going to foreclosure. He even pawned his Stanley Cup ring to buy
Jesus
drugs.
Christ.
So this is where hockey well, addiction will take you. But it started with trauma. I'm sure this guy didn't wake up one day and say, let's see what heroin's like. I'll do that,
I
and then
believe
I'll
so.
play hockey professionally. Now he was tormented by a predator who took advantage of the situation. You know, a friend of Dave. She was fearing a relapse. She tried to place him in a first-rate treatment center, but Gove State Medicaid covered left him and his friends far short of being able to pay for high-quality care. So, we've heard that story before. The Pittsburgh Penguins no longer had a uh, they they didn't have to honor anything with Gove anymore. He was done. He was out of contract. Um, the Penguins put him on as a coach for their minor league team, just like to give it to him, Dave Gove. So he's not in good shape. He's coaching the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and he's slowly deteriorating. And the girl that sent him, she says this. She says, we tried to reach Dave multiple times during the 2016-2017 season, but he remained out of contract. In early March, Gove entered the Pittsburgh Bethlehem Haven, an urban shelter that offers basic medical care for homeless. He talked to his friend Christy Ferreira. She sensed he was fogginess during the conversation, and he said he needed to borrow $80 to attend a Penguins game. So she said to him, "I sent him money under one condition. He texted me a picture of himself at the game," she said. The image never arrived. The next morning, Gove texted, "Just my luck. I had a fever. I didn't go to the game. Send your money back." She put, "Keep the money as an early birthday present." She replied, "Something fun might come up." That was their last communication. Lying came easily to Gove when he was using and chasing drugs. On the same day, he deceived his mother, telling her that he planned to spend the day at a casino. In fact, Pittsburgh police later found Gove. They found him buying heroin, uh, and then the cops let him off. I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. Um, he had heroin on him. Gove gave in. His final contact with his best friend said it was his last $50. Gove's sister, Christian Buttrick, spoke to him later that night. He rambled about his mother driving somewhere. She doesn't drive. And about him being tired at the airport. She said, Dave, you're not at the airport. You're at a homeless shelter. You sound like you're back on drugs. Panicked, she called the shelter the next morning. She said, my brother's drowning inside. You need to help him. At 10 a.m. the next day, April 5th, 8 weeks before Gove was to testify against this scumbag, a shelter worker entered his room and found Gove overdosed, and that was the end of a life cut too short because of trauma, because of molestation, and it's just it's the trifecta of overdose right here. It's personal trauma. It's expectations not being mixed. He was going to be a professional hockey player, never made it there because of all this shit. So, this is a story. This story is out there a lot. A lot of people have these issues and don't come forward. So Dave Gove's a tragic story about it. You can look at also Mike Richards of the Philadelphia Flyers. He was the Flyers captain. I want to say like 2010. That he was one of the best hockey players in the league. Mike Richards. He's wearing the C. He's he took the Flyers to the finals against the Blackhawks in 2012, something like that. So Mike Richards bounces around a little bit. He sleeps with Jeff Carter's wife. They all get traded out of Philadelphia. Richards ends up on getting hurt, of course, and he gets hooked on oxys. So next thing you know, Richards is shooting heroin in Manchester, New Hampshire. So he went from that to a junkie heroin addict, a professional hockey player, captain of the team. Now he's a heroin addict. Bob Probert, another great example. This guy was an animal. This guy, all right. Bob Probert was the tough guy in the NHL. Him, Ty Domi, a couple other guys. Bob Probert was high and drunk every second of his life, and he played hockey, and he was the enforcer, and it's rough. Sports can really breed a whole different kind of animal. Theo Fleury, I don't know if people remember Theo. He was 5'5". This little dude. He was a hornet bouncing all over the place. Hello there. Who do we got here, Mike? What's going on with this dog? Hi, Buster.
Hi,
sweetheart.
Buster.
Hello. Oh, he's a nice dog. So anyway, yeah. Theo Fleury. Who else?
I didn't know he was that short.
Yeah, he's a little dude, little tiny dude. Doc Ellis. This is fun. He pitched a no-hitter against Oakland in like the 70s on LSD. He said he thought he was pitching to. Yeah, he thought he was pitching.
I don't know why I'm
Jimmy
laughing at that. It's not funny.
It's absolutely hysterical. If you can't laugh at it, what's the point of it? He was pitching to Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix was swinging his guitar as a bat.
Nice.
All right. So anyway, we want to recognize the Gaudreau brothers, also killed in a incident involving alcohol and drugs. We want to talk about. We're going to be on Faces and Voices of Recovery this week. We'll let you know. We're gonna solidify a time. We're excited to be on the podcast.
The last episode had the former Surgeon General of the United States on as a guest. So what a great follow-up.
That's kind of a tough act to follow.
To have Mike and Tim from
seriously.
Really, the last guest was the former Surgeon General of the United States. Yes, true.
Right.
And it'll be us.
That's gonna be a tough one to follow. But it's exciting to do new things and kind of branch out a little bit.
Sure. Maybe we'll calm down a little bit.
Yeah. We've had 100 people come and go here. I mean, that seems to be what we get. It says different everywhere. On Instagram it says 0. On Facebook it says 6. On my screen it says 112. So I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. we're here twice a week. You can email us, tim@trash-podcast.com, or you can email mike@trash-podcast.com. We answer our emails. We take care of our people. You want to get on clean time, give us a holler. It's there for you if you want it. We're always there, 24/7. We answer the phone. So let's read a little just for today, and then we'll call it a wrap for episode 59. So let me see here. Let me pull up just for Dizzle. All right, here we go. So just for today, I have to do that. Oh, right. I'm new here. All right, so just for today, November 3rd, no matter what is entitled. Just for today, out of the basic text, page 88, we eventually have to stand on our own feet and face life on its own terms. So why not from the start? Some of us feel we should protect the newcomers by telling them that while everything used to be horrible, now we're in recovery and it's all wonderful. We feel that might scare people away if we speak of pain or difficulties, broken marriages, being robbed, and the like. In a sincere and well-intentioned desire to carry the message, we tend to talk glowingly about what's going on in our lives. I certainly hope I don't do that. But most newcomers already suspect the truth. That's true. Even if they've only been clean a few days, chances are that the life-on-life term the average newcomer is experiencing quite a bit more stressful than what the average old-timer deals with each day. I can't read today. If we do manage to convince the newcomer that everything becomes rosy in recovery, we had better make sure that we're there to support that newcomer when everything goes wrong in his life. Perhaps we simply need to share realistically about how we use the resources of our Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous to accept life on life's terms. Whatever those terms may be on any given day, recovery and life itself contain equal parts of pain and joy. That's a fact. It is important to share both so the newcomer can know that we stay clean no matter what. Just for today, I will be honest with the newcomers I share with and let them, no matter what, let them know that no matter what life brings, we never have to use again. It's late. So yeah, so that's we talked about that in my NA meeting tonight, or my AA meeting tonight. Life on life's terms. It's hard to do sometimes, but you don't want to paint a picture, and we certainly don't want to do that on this show. Is paint a picture of it's all rosy, everything's great. My life's in shambles. I'm just in the middle of picking it back up, and you guys are taking a ride with me. That's all it is. I'm not, But yeah, it's but if my worst day sober is better than my best day high, and that's a fact. I mean, you get high, and that fleeting moment is gone, and then it's just the disaster that comes with the using, the withdrawals, the money, the stealing, everything. It's the price you pay to remain an addict. One's too many and 1,000 is never enough. That is the most truest statement I've ever heard in my life about anything. One is too many and 1,000 isn't enough. So I had it in my head at one point, I'm either going to get high every day for the rest of my life or I'm not going to. I'm not going to play this in-between thing. And I fought that for a number of years, trying to, find this balance where I can use and be normal. And, it wasn't there. So life on life's terms is important. So, Billy Nelson, yeah, we're 24/7. I'm reading some of the comments here. Donald, I used to live in Hamilton. Billy Nelson, meet me outside. We'll have a talk. So anyway, we getting a level, you guys. We're just messing around, trying to do our thing, spread the message of recovery. Because I'll tell you, from experience, it sucks. I'm alive, but there's a part of me that's it would have been easier if I wasn't, So it's the hard road. And I'll let you know how it turns out, because I'm working on it currently, and I'm doing it for the first time this way, being open and honest with everybody. So I'm the test subject. You're just hanging out with us. Michael, thank you for being you. You're just so sweet. We appreciate you.
Thanks for the people that watched, or the people that want to watch, or the people that watched the normal way, which is a taped episode of this.
Yeah, so we'll see you on stream time. On stream time, that doesn't even exist.
Sounds like
We'll
a new
see
word.
you.
I like
Billy
it. I wore
Nelson
glasses.
says
I was trying to look more
I was
educated.
gonna tonight, but I couldn't find him. Billy Nelson says he loves you, Mike. All our friends are
I love his Uncle Willie.
okay. We love you guys. Thanks. We're gonna do this more. We tape the show anyway, so if you want to watch, we're here on Sunday nights around 9, Wednesday nights around 8. But yeah, check out our socials, all that stuff. It's all there.
We're everywhere.
Whatever you need, we're everywhere. And Michael Brown, I just want to say real quick, thank you
Give me
again.
your prayers tonight. Wish him well.
Yep, this guy reached out and said I need help, and you're the only way I can get help right now. I can
Sounds good to
speculate. Maybe he has family, doesn't want to know, but he's a good dude. So I'm glad he's in here. We are going to call it a night, and we'll see you on episode 60. That is Wednesday, Mike. 60 episodes. Can you imagine that?
I get no